more great drama? That's just the job. Trust a Trader, sponsoring ITV4 Daytime.
TrustATrader.com.
Hello again, welcome to Match Time. We've FA Cup and League action for you this afternoon. From yesterday's semi-finals, there's Leicester City of the second division against the cup holders Tottenham Hotspur. And where all eyes were on the Spurs, Argentine international Osvaldo Ardiles, who showed no visible signs of tension in view of the current political situation, and who was well supported by a large Spurs following at his last match before returning to Argentina to take part in their World Cup preparations. Right, from the league, we've Southampton chasing the First Division Championship, their game away to Brighton, and from the Third Division, a very important promotion match between Burnley and Reading. But we start with a cup semi-final between Leicester and Spurs from Villa Park. Central Television provide the pictures. The commentator is Brian Moore.
FA Cup semi-final day at Villa Park, and here come Second Division Leicester City. To be followed by Spurs, and Osvaldo Ardiles of Argentina is a man clearly under a lot of pressure. Quite apart from the tension of a semi-final, and that's severe enough, it's a weekend when his mind must be full of his country's activities at the moment in the Falkland Islands. And Ardiles, a sensitive man who's been a great ambassador for his country since he came here in 1978, is due to leave for Argentina this weekend to rejoin his World Cup squad. Well, Ardiles takes his place in this Tottenham side, as do Steve Archibald and Garth Crooks, recovered from injury, and the substitute is Paul Miller. As for Leicester City, a strong Scottish flavour in their side, 6 out of that 12 in fact, and one of them, Eddie Kelly, was sent off in midweek against Shrewsbury, but that doesn't affect his appearance here today. Their top scorer is the 21-year-old Gary Lineker with 14. So Eddie Kelly, his experience has been of greatest importance to this young Leicester side, a man who scored in a cup final for Arsenal back in 1971. Well, again, the Tottenham mascot is on the pitch. The referee is Neil Midgley of Salford, his first semi-final. And it's Leicester City then who get us away in the shirts of blue, white shorts, attacking the goal to our left. As Spurs in white get underway, and a bad pass there by Ardiles, incidentally, who was booed by a section of the crowd the moment he touched the ball. And, well, there's Linex, but it's the other number 7, Ardiles, who clearly is going to be under a little bit of pressure here. And a free kick to Leicester City in the opening half-minute of the game, with Williams crossing it there, Hoddle getting it away. Here's Peake, the 27th semi-final played at Villa Park in post-war years, and Young offside, a free kick to Tottenham. Spurs, who beat Arsenal, Leeds, Aston Villa and Chelsea to get here, Leicester getting here by way of Southampton, Hereford, Watford and Shrewsbury. Well, they haven't made it that uncomfortable for Spurs in the opening minutes, but on the other hand, they haven't allowed Spurs to express themselves. And I think Leicester possibly were encouraged by the way Spurs' stamina seemed to wilt in the later stages of the League Cup final, and feeling that if they keep at their throats long enough, then the unexpected might just happen. Well, it's a corner for Spurs now. And Young is down and injured. And goodness knows, after the traumas of their last round of the Cup at Shrewsbury, Leicester could well do without injury. And in fact, when Wallington went off, it was this fellow, Alan Young, who went in as an emergency goalkeeper. And he seems to be in trouble. I think it was possibly only he was jumping with Galvin. Well, let's have a look. Whole lot of them bunched in there together, and it may have been Galvin falling on Young. Looks almost as though Alan Young is finding difficulty in standing, and Clements keeping himself alert while the hold-up continues. So the corner taken. It's Ardiles now on the ball for Tottenham. Hazard, Hoddle, a strike just wide of that Leicester City goal, and the first serious strike on it the Spurs have mounted with 12 minutes of the game gone. Hazard playing it nicely into the path of Tottenham's number 10, and Hoddle cracking it well. There was a bit of a bobble there as a point of fact. Kelly with the free kick, and Lineker over the top. Well, that could have been a problem. They all strained for it and didn't reach it. Lineker didn't know where it was for a moment. When he found it, his scooping shot was over the bar. Coming towards the half-hour mark in this FA Cup semi-final at Villa Park, and no score. Now Archibald on the turn, and Wallington down. Well, there was a great economy about that effort. A long ball from the back. Crooks didn't get a touch. Archibald was onto it, and Wallington was down. Roberts, like a battleship charging through there. It takes an awful lot of stopping. He really does. And in the end, he's forcefully found Garth Crooks. Tottenham's throw. Archibald. Crooks, a shot that's wide, and a corner. Just clipping off, it must have been Paul Fryer, the young fullback. Good spirit in this game. You saw the smile on the face of Mark Wallington there, having a word with Garth Crooks, as Hoddle now takes another corner for Tottenham. Archibald's backward header. Rice with a chance of turning it back in. Houghton. Hazard. Now Hoddle. Steve Archibald for Hoddle again. Archibald this time for Perryman. The ball played in early and flicked on in the first place by Galvin. Peake was beaten, in fact, by the header of Galvin. Here's Hazard on his way. Still on his way. A left foot shot and a good save. And in fact, there goes the half-time whistle, and Leicester City from the second division have done what they said they would do. Contested every ball, fought all the way. The favourites, Tottenham, know this is going to be a very difficult semi-final to win. With a half-time score here at Villa Park, Leicester 0, Spurs 0, as Spurs get us away at the start of the second half. They're in white, remember, attacking the goal to our left now. Against a Leicester City side that have been in 4 cup finals since the war, but have never won the cup. Roberts, a backward pass, and he didn't really look closely enough, and Lineker was always lurking. In the end, it was safe, and it's safer now for Tottenham that it's with their captain, Steve Perryman. Crooks. Perryman continued that run and got the early ball in, but O'Neill was on the end of it for Leicester. Spurs with the throw. And they are making a substitution, Leicester. And it's Alan Young, who was in the wars quite early in the game and has been hobbling a little bit lately, who goes off. And it's Jim Melrose, who got a couple of goals in the last round against Shrewsbury and has scored 11 this season, who's come on. And It's a strictly 1-for-1 substitution so far as strikers are concerned. There's a corner off Paul Fryer for Tottenham. Hoddle again will take it. Roberts, and this time Price has come forward as well. Played for our dealers. Coming into Crooks! Brilliantly executed corner and a brilliantly taken goal. What a glorious moment for Tottenham, and a superb strike by their number 11 Garth Crooks, and a moment to savour for the thousands of Tottenham's fans. The corner's played short to our dealers, the little chip in, and there's the volley wide of Wallington, and Crooks has put Spurs into the lead. That's a Tottenham throw, and it leaves Tommy Williams in a bit of distress, but sufficiently off the field, I would think, yes indeed, for the referee to say we're going to go on. Houghton, Crooks, Hazard. This will come for Galvin, and a lot of space with Tommy Williams still out of action. Finding Hazard. A bit weak down that side of the field at the moment, Leicester City. Here's Hoddle with all the tricks, finding Hazard. And still Williams out of the action as Hoddle flicks one in there. Crooks trying to get in behind that back four, and Kelly getting it away. Well, that is desperate news for Leicester City. Tommy Williams on a stretcher, and Leicester a goal down, now reduced for the last quarter of an hour to 10 men. Well, you have to say, if Spurs can keep their discipline going and their running, they should eventually arrive through to another Wembley final with this goal advantage and time running out, and against 10 men. Should arrive, but will they? Here's Galvin. Strong challenge there by Linex, but Galvin has the strength as Linex comes back at him again, and he's gone past Larry May as well. Crossed in once more towards Hazard and Crooks, and it's an own goal by Wilson. Commiserations there from Archibald, and if Leicester's troubles weren't enough, that puts the seal on them. Well, Galvin went past May, he played a ball in, and in fact hit it straight at Wilson, who aimed a pass back at his goalkeeper. Look at this. Gently over Wallington's head, neatly into the back of the net. Misery for Leicester, and Spurs already beginning to celebrate another appearance at Wembley. Poor Ian Wilson. Hasn't scored this season for Leicester, but he's put one in the wrong net now. Galvin, that's a foul, and it wasn't a very pleasant one either by Linex. I think Leicester have a feeling, which is a view I don't share, that Galvin was responsible for Tommy Williams. It looked as though it was a 50-50 challenge, I must say, from my angle. Galvin on Williams. And Linex maybe was seeking a little bit of revenge. Well, here's Galvin again. Here's Houghton. And here's Crooks. Oh, and here's Houghton, and it could have been 3. And I think it's all up now for Leicester, with Spurs about to make a substitution, and they're going to bring on defender Paul Miller as Houghton puts that chance wide. And they're going to take off Graham Roberts from the centre of the back four. Is he hobbling a little bit as he goes off? Roberts is going off in any case, getting a standing ovation from the Spurs fans. They know the debt Spurs owe to him. When things looked a little bit rocky once or twice in this game, a really big, strong character, as indeed is Paul Miller, who's come on to replace him at the centre of the defence. Crooks Fryer. Oh, Huddle's got the better of him. And there are men waiting in the middle. Oh, there's a foul by young Paul Fryer on Huddle, which is incurring the wrath of the Spurs fans right behind him there. And the 18-year-old's name goes into the book for the foul on Huddle. Don't think he can complain. Huddle with the free kick. Galvin poised outside the box. Paul Miller's going in there as well, and it's hit powerfully but straight at the keeper. Fryer stopped by Ardiles. About 3 minutes left. Huddle. Houghton to Hazard. Perryman. Still Perryman, and a little touch for Archibald. A good save. Ardiles. Don't think their heart is really in it at the moment now, Leicester. I think they realise that it's a foregone conclusion, and a deflection there for a moment I thought was going to embarrass Wallington. Just a couple of minutes remaining. Houghton putting it away for a Leicester throw. Melrose still full of running. The substitute. Finding Peake. Houghton. And that should be a Tottenham throw. It is. Spurs fans getting behind Ossie Ardiles. There's only one Ardiles, they're saying, in response to a lot of booing that's come his way from the Leicester fans this afternoon. Ardiles, who's now playing his last game before he goes back to Argentina to join the Argentine World Cup squad, but they have said he could be back for the final. May. Price with a header, and Kelly. And Peake here. Now, will he let Foot drive? Just wide of that Tottenham goal. Last minute of the game now. The referee looking at his watch. Spurs fans already getting to their feet. Already beginning to clap and chant a victory chorus, as Crooks chases the ball again to the byline. Support by Galvin, but wanting Linex to make his challenge. Well, they certainly know the way to Wembley, all right. It'll be the fourth time in a little over a year. They've made it. The holders are back at Wembley again, Spurs, with the goals by Crooks, and then that tragic own goal by the Leicester midfield player, Ian Wilson. Jock Wallace and Keith Birkinshaw, who were both together way back at Workington. Now they've been on a much bigger stage, and it's Birkinshaw who's beaten Wallace and his second division Leicester City side. The two managers go off. A game played overall in a pretty good spirit. And Spurs just pulling out those goals when it mattered most, when it looked as though the running and the competitive spirit of Leicester might take them into extra time and maybe even further. So a full-time score here at Villa Park. Leicester City 0, Tottenham Hotspurs 2.
So it's Spurs back at Wembley, and all things being equal, it'll be Ray Clements' 7th Wembley final in domestic competitions, and that'll be a record for any player. But whether Ossie Ardiles plays in the FA Cup final against Queen's Park Rangers is still very uncertain on 2 counts. Whether he'll be released in time by Argentina's manager, Cesar Menotti, but more significantly concerning the political crisis, of course, caused by Argentina's invasion of the Falkland Islands. After the match, Ardiles said he had no idea if he'd be back for the final. Well, coming up next on Match Time, the most exciting incidents from the First Division game between Brighton and Southampton, including this tremendous save by Ivan Katalinic from the former Manchester City striker Michael Robinson. We'll be back. Welcome back from the Cup. We now turn our attention to the chase for the League Championship, and we go down to the South Coast for the First Division derby match between Brighton and Southampton, for whom victory will put them back on top of the table. But their away form has been disappointing of late, not having won in their last 5 games. Television South were at the Goldstone Ground. The commentator, Gerald Sinstadt.
Brighton kick off, attacking the goal to our right. They're in their traditional all-blue strip. No change for Southampton. They're in red and white. It's Williams helping it forward. Keegan goes on the chase just in case. And a nice little flick for Shannon. And Shannon playing it wide for Puckett. And Armstrong coming in behind. Puckett takes it away from him. Shannon. Ball. And the pressure immediately on Brighton. Holmes. Blocked by Shanks. Holmes again. This time for Puckett, and he's got it inside. That was a good ball. But the cross is cleared by Nelson. And the referee calling them back for the first free kick of the game. And Brighton will be glad to have heard that whistle. Grealish. Pass cut up by Golak, then Nicol to Ball. Grealish, that's a good pass. This is what Robinson likes, a chance to run at goal, and that'll be a penalty. Chris Nicol completely mistimed the tackle, and it's a Brighton penalty. Really can't be much doubt about this one. Robinson at his most dangerous in this kind of situation. Powerful and quick, and too quick for Nicol. I wonder which way Katalinic will go. The right way, but not quickly enough. It was just about the perfect penalty. Katalinic got it right, but had no chance because the kick was so well struck. Hard and beautifully placed. Keegan back to Armstrong. Nelson, Gatting. Stevens. Robinson looking for a header here. And Katalinic has dropped it. Nicol has blocked it. Ritchie has put it in, but it's not going to be a goal because Mr. Thomas had blown for a foul on Katalinic very early in the piece. There was an elbow by Robinson, and from here on, everything is academic. It's as though Puckett is off for this second half, and young Danny Wallace is on, only 18. Nelson. McNabb. It was not far wide, and the Brighton players were sure there was a deflection. Mike Bailey, I'm sure, would be glad of one more goal to give his team a cushion. Thomas. Golak a little lucky. Williams. Keegan. Williams. Wallace. Ball is free on this side if Wallace knows he's there and can find him. Keegan's there, and Keegan has scored. Wallace made it, and Keegan, with the genuine striker's instinct, was in the right place to finish it off. Goal that came out of nothing, and Brighton's defence for once caught napping. Little low ball in, and a stab from Keegan, 1-1. Robinson. It's a bad pass. Golak's clearance has gone to Nelson. Nelson's cross, Robinson's header against the post. I think there was a touch from Golak, and Robinson beats the ground in frustration. That was a magnificent centre-forward's header. A real beauty. And the goalkeeper just touched it onto the post. Credit to Katalinic, credit to Robinson, and the post did the rest. Shanks cross. Robinson again, and again Katalinic. Mick Robinson really very sharp in the last couple of incidents, and so unlucky to be stopped then by a superb piece of goalkeeping.
1-1 it stayed, so Southampton now in third place behind Ipswich and Liverpool, who are now top on goal difference. Well, still more action to come on the programme this afternoon from the third division, and two sides in with a very good chance of getting promotion. Your commentator at Turf Moor is Martin Tyler.
Since switching Martin Dobson to sweeper, Burnley have lost only 1 of 26 games in the third division. But though the shape of the side has been constant, the personnel have been shuffled recently through injury and suspension. And today, Phil Kavanagh gets his first full game for almost 7 months. David Holt returns to the defence after serving a 2-game ban. Reading are the third division leading scorers, but they also have the second worst defensive record. And today they're without Laurie Sanchez, a key man in midfield. But Gary Donnellan, his replacement at number 11, and Stuart Bevan, wearing number 7, have special responsibilities in trying to outwit Burnley's system of defending. Trevor Stephen is one of 2 highly promising youngsters on show today, and his 88th minute equaliser at Lincoln on Wednesday night emphasised his development this season. Like Stephen, Neil Webb is 18. He's Reading's top scorer with 14 goals. And last October, he hit a hat-trick for England in the quarter-final of the World Youth Cup in Australia. It's Reading then getting the game underway, wearing a change strip of all yellow this afternoon. Burnley starting a run into the season with 8 of their last 12 games here at Turf Moor. And the referee, the familiar figure of George Courtney, one of our FIFA officials. A header from Hicks, and back from Hetzke. The Reading skipper, who's playing just in front of the back four this afternoon. Went over Kearney, and this is Neil Webb. And outside him was Bevan. Taking on Holt, who blocks the cross. And then gets it back from Kevin Young. This is Webb. And now Paul McGee. Hamilton ahead of him. But McGee was looking for Young. Played off by Dixon. And here's Trevor Stephen, with Kavanagh going through the middle, and McGee coming short, but Stephen assesses the options and uses Brian Laws. Hicks wants to let it run, and McGee won't let him. Kavanagh and Hamilton. Burnley into the lead in the 3rd minute. Comprehensively finished by Hamilton. But it was Hicks who was the defender who was caught in trouble. And McGee chased and caught Hicks in possession. And then Kavanagh drove it across, and Hamilton finished it perfectly. Billy Hamilton, who carries such a load up front for Burnley and has done so all season, the reward for his efforts with his 12th goal. Hamilton doing well in the air against Hicks. The back pass from Williams. Holt. Too strong for Wharton. Kearney's touch for Webb, but it's a Burnley throw. Young given time. Kavanagh. Now Laws. Taking on Donlan, and then Lewis. And the cross reaches Hamilton. Superb goal. So Billy Hamilton gets his second with 13 minutes gone, with Brian Laws showing all the determination coming forward, using Kavanagh as the decoy, and the classic far post cross, beautifully met by Hamilton. Ron Fearon in the Reading goal, in the firing line again. Donlan. Reading rather let down as they were massing their ranks on the near side of the field. McGee. Stephen trying to take over. He's got acceleration too. And Hamilton. Fearon dropped quickly. A glimpse of the style of Trevor Stephen, who was fouled initially, but shrugged off the attempt and then had the vision to set up Hamilton for the shot. Stephen again pulling a string in midfield. Laws. Young trying to time his run, and he stayed onside. Hamilton, can he turn? He can, and it's blocked by Fearon with the legs. Well, he's got two, and he might easily have doubled that in this first half. Kevin Young playing it in low to Hamilton. Good goalkeeping, though, by Fearon. The header out from Dixon. Donlan. But Wharton had recovered, but stretched a little painfully, picked himself up gingerly. Has been out injured, Andy Wharton, only came back in midweek. Hamilton. Bevan. Stopped by Hamilton. Kavanagh. McGee ahead of him. And Fearon got his angles right again. And the crowd show their appreciation of clinical Burnley build-up. Ending in the shot from McGee. Hetsky. Harassed by Kavanagh. And it's been a harrowing first half for Reading. Laws. And Hamilton was balked. Got the advantage played again. And as Hamilton looks up, he'll see McGee in the middle and looks for him beyond the far post. out of play, though, despite the efforts of Paul McGee. Dobson's header. Kavanagh. Blocked by Lewis. Hamilton screening it away from Hicks. Lewis aware that McGee was cutting off an attempted back pass. That's Burnley's throw. Hamilton. And when the whistle goes, it is for half-time. Billy Hamilton going off with 2 goals to his name in the first 13 minutes. 6 of Burnley's last 7 matches have been away, but they've certainly come back to Turf Moor here in this first half in some style. And they go off leading the team that are second in the table by 2-0 at half-time. Williams finds Lewis, or aims to find Lewis, running away from one full-back aimed at the other. And it's Lewis with the back pass. Has had some success in the air for Reading, but not in really crucial areas. And his pass for Donlan was overhit. McGee forward from Wharton. Stephen reacting quickly. Hamilton has spotted Laws and found him. And Dobson is there should Laws need help. And Burnley begin the second phase so often of their attack when Martin Dobson steps out of his defensive shell. And he's available again. So too is Wharton. The fullbacks do play an important part in this Burnley system. And both Brian Laws and Andy Wharton here prepared to try their luck at goal. On from Dixon, now Kearney. Just allowed Holt a moment to make the challenge. Williams finding Wood. Here's Donlan. Very much a no-nonsense defender, Andy Wharton. Kearney. And Holt. So nearly an own goal, and it's ended up in. But the referee spotting an infringement before the ball crossed the line. But it was David Holt here with that slice that took the ball over Stevenson, and a push, I would think, given against Dixon before the ball ended up in the net. Burnley now can make their substitution. Vince Overson goes off to be replaced by another 19-year-old Colin Anderson. And Reading to make a substitution. John Cullen will come on for them, and Gary Donlan has already gone off. Dixon. Kearney, and it wouldn't go for Reading from close range. Swung in quickly by Dixon to cause some confusion in the centre of the Burnley defence. Still rearranging perhaps after the substitution. And Kearney, it struck him and then bounced away. Bevan, but it didn't come for him, and Kavanagh finds Young, who's onside. Hamilton goes in, and Fearon repositioned. It might even have come off Hicks. Young played it in quickly. And Hamilton and Hicks tussled. Fearon plucked it under the bar. Wharton. The crowd urging him to shoot. But he used Anderson. Now Stephen. In goes Hamilton. And no problems for the goalkeeper. Kearney. Dixon is through the middle. The linesman has spotted something. Maybe pushing, in fact, the use of the hand. Anderson. Stephen. Dobson making further inroads. Stephen again. Dobson still has found himself space by checking out. Now he's confronted by Webb. Young takes it away from Lewis. Still Kevin Young, and he beats Fearon inside his near post and gives the game a fitting finale. Kevin Young for Burnley. We're into injury time, and Young took it away from Lewis in the first place and then tucked it into the corner with his left foot. It's a satisfying margin for Burnley now. So Burnley move a step closer towards a promotion place. And with 7 of their last 11 games here at Turf Moor, their future really is in their own hands. A final score at Turf Moor, it's Burnley 3, Reading 0.
Well, Burnley have a reputation for producing top-class footballers, and it looks as though they found another gem in 18-year-old Trevor Stephen. It's the first time I've seen Stephen, and he strikes me as being very accomplished for a youngster in only his first season. He is confident and comfortable on the ball, and has already learned the right time to lay the ball off for opponent to have a shot at goal. But he excites me most going forward. He has that confidence again, taking on player after player, and finishing with a useful shot. Trevor Stephen. I hope to see him again and in a higher division. Well, I was also interested to see Burnley's sweeper system at first hand. Since the introduction of this formation, Burnley have lost only 1 league game in 27. I hold the view that using a sweeper can often be a waste of a player, but with Martin Dobson's experience guiding them at the back, Burnley could show it can work. The system allows the likes of Brian Laws, my man of the match, and Andy Wharton to come forward from full back. It's not often you see one full back in the opponent's penalty area these days, but yesterday there were times when Burnley had 2.
Here's Wharton. Young outside him, and McGee and Hamilton through the middle. Wharton joining them. Still Young. Now Wharton. So many men there for Burnley. Stephen is one. Laws is another.
Well, with players like Tommy Cassidy and Mike Phelan to come back, they seem to have the right ingredients at Turf Moor. I think they'll win promotion, and manager Brian Miller sees the second division on the horizon too.
There's probably about 5 or 6 teams involved in the promotion race, But if we go about it right, if we play like we did the first half, I'm sure that we can get the result, we can get home wins, and we can get points away from home. And our chances must be very, very high.
And here's the reason behind Brian Miller's optimism. A quick look at the top of the third division. Burnley now 5th, a point behind Reading with games in hand. 7 of Burnley's remaining 11 games are at home. In the second division, Blackburn slipped a little further away from promotion by losing 2-0 at Luton. Newcastle now in a very challenging position, and Leicester City, with games in hand, also have a chance and can now concentrate on the league after being beaten in the cup semi-final by Spurs. At the other end, Bolton now look to be in severe trouble, don't they? They could only manage a home draw with Shrewsbury, conceding a last-minute penalty. And with 34 games played, Wrexham could well overtake them, with Bolton joining Orient and Grimsby in the bottom 3. But we leave you with the 2 goals that took Tottenham Hotspur back to Wembley. One moment of magic, another that was really tragic for Leicester's Ian Wilson. Good afternoon.
Played for our dealers. Coming into Crooks! Brilliantly executed corner and a brilliantly taken goal. Strong challenge there by Linex, but Galvin has the strength as Linex comes back at him again, and he's gone past Larry May as well. Crossed in once more towards Hazard and Crooks, and it's an own goal by Wilson.